What you mean and what you say, 'cause to me this ain't a game. On the court or in the ring, we just wrestling with things. We a league, we supreme. We don't do this for the fame, and 100's what we bring. We just wrestling with things. Welcome to our safe space, where we talk, where we love.
There's a lots of different directions we could go with. Obviously the biggest damn near mainstream, even news outlets are covering it with of course Vince McMahon has got back on the board of directors. Stephanie McMahon resigned as co-chairwoman, and of course WWE's for sale. There's just so many different stories within stories, but of course let's start with the biggest one. WWE going for sale. So many different streaming and networks or streaming services and networks are gonna have their name in the hat to try to get a shot at this. Of course, even Netflix, Apple TV, Disney Plus, ESPN, Fox, all sorts of names being floated on. Hell, even people are trying to stir up Tony Khan and his father, so supposedly could supposedly get buy it from Vince. But yeah, a lot of different directions, but I think before I get to the sale, I think I want to start with Stephanie resigning, because I don't know if you realize it, but I don't know if most people have been following, because a lot's been going on. About 8 and 7 months ago, Stephanie was going to take a hiatus. She announced it, and then shortly after she announced it, the Vince scandal thing popped, and obviously Vince was slowly being pushed out, and that forced her back in, and she was like, I'll hold down the chairwoman duties with Nick Khan, Nick Khan came from ESPN. He has a lot of connections in the sports world. Nick Khan's obviously the CEO now, but to me, everybody seems to say it's only because of Vince coming back that pushed her away. I'm sure that might be part of it. She might be like, the stress is too much, but I honestly think this was a case of Triple H almost lost Triple H to an illness not too long ago, and I honestly feel like this is a thing of she really wanted a break. I feel like, when you have to witness something like that with someone so close, it might make you reevaluate, like, damn, am I spending enough time on my daughters? Am I in this business too much? I've been in this business since I was a kid. I'm good money wise. Maybe I can afford a extended hiatus. And I don't know. I feel like it was more for maybe being burnt out, than it is solely just because of all this Vince McMahon and WWE for sale and scandal stuff. What do you think was the driving force behind Stephanie resigning?
I'll probably lean towards your answer. I'll lean towards your answer a little bit. I just feel, if I had to put a finger on it, I would probably say she just didn't want to do it anymore. That's probably what I think it is, because like you just said, she's probably been in it since 18, maybe 17.
One of those, maybe earlier behind the scenes.
Right, yeah, but I mean in terms of like branding, being a character, being in front of cameras.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like having to deal with different people in different companies and stuff like that. I think she's been literally doing that since the late 90s. So I'll probably lean towards she just didn't want to do it anymore. The same way, Triple H just doesn't want to do it anymore. He just wants to stick to one thing at this point.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like why is he, it comes a certain time too where once you get to that pinnacle, and once you look back and see, this is where I was at my peak and this is where I am now, you're going to ask yourself those type of questions too, Dave. You're going to be like, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what am I really getting out of it now? You see what I mean? Like I know a lot of people's gonna blame Vince and try to say, "Oh, it's Vince coming that made her feel like she couldn't be comfortably there anymore." But that's BS, bro.
I don't.
You know what I mean?
I don't think so.
I'm just saying. I'm seeing it.
Yeah, I'm seeing a whole lot. I'm seeing Vince get the only blame. But if I calculate back to like I said 8 months ago, it looked like she was trying to squeeze in a break and fall back a little to begin with.
Yeah.
This just forced her responsibilities to hold it down a little more. And who knows, maybe, and I'm sure there's disagreements for sure with Vince, but who knows, maybe the plan was, stay a little longer until I'm able to figure out a way back in.
Well,
and I'll let you relieve you of your duties.
Well, I've been saying that the whole time.
Nah, I gotta give it to you. You said you did say this wasn't the last we seen of him. I gotta give it to you.
I've been literally saying that the whole time. I truly believe it's exactly what you just said. You know what I mean? Vince was probably like, listen, a lot of this, we're in a new time. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different, organizational groups, scattered all over the place. They're gonna come after me. This is what they're gonna do. Let me take a break first so I can map out a new blueprint and a new, thing to way to go about this. You stay here for a few. I'll come back. Then you could do whatever the hell you want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not far-fetched.
Yeah, because like you said, she was going to leave. I felt like she didn't want to do this business even then. You know what I mean? But it's like, you can't just blame Vince for something like that, because let's face it, the McMahons have been through bigger problems than this.
Yeah.
And she stayed put.
That's true.
So why are you gonna blame him now for this little, he say, she say type of problem? You can't blame him for that.
Yeah.
Hunter's still there.
I was going to go there. You know how people instigate and just throw things on the internet for jokes. Any chance at all Triple H leaves just because Stephanie left?
That's possible. That's highly possible.
You think so?
Yeah.
It's hard to say with me. I don't know. I think it's highly possible because when it's all said and done, he's a human being, and human beings, they're going to care about their wife's input. They're going to care about, their family. But at the same time, I don't know. It's hard to say because, he has been having meetings with talent this week saying, Vince is back to ultimately because Vince is the one who signs off on a sale and Vince is on the board. But Triple H is still chief content officer and in charge of creative. So he has been, reassuring the talent, I'm still in this, but of course Vince is now involved again.
Well, that's his job, Dave. He's doing his job.
You think he's BSing? You don't think
it's damage control. It's his job.
So you don't think Triple H is in charge of creative still?
I believe he has a good input. In charge is a little too strong of a word.
You don't think so? You don't think ultimately most of the final say the last 6 months or so has been from Triple H?
No, I'm talking about
final
now.
Thing that goes in the corner.
No. I'm talking about now. I'm talking about now that Vince is back in the saddle. Before, yeah.
Even Mr. McMahon has said that he's not on creative duties. He's here to make sure.
Damage control, Dave. They want everybody to
There is no damage right here, right now.
There is, because
to be fair.
Because think about all the people who left thinking that Vince was gone for good. They need to feel comfortable, David. They still need to feel comfortable about showing up to work.
So you think this is really a complete takeover? Triple H isn't going to exist anymore.
No, I'm saying Triple H can still exist if he wants to exist.
I mean, as chief content officer, having his flavor on the creative.
Yeah, I mean, he could keep the same job if he wants to keep the same job, but in a this is what you gotta think about, dude. Why would Vince just come back just to not have any input on what's going on in front of him? It doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound like a Vince McMahon move. When has Vince ever done something like that? Vince is going to do something.
He's trying to cash in.
If Vince is going to do something, Vince is going to do it like the boss. He's always going to approach it like the boss.
Teflon.
It's simple as
Teflon
that.
Teflon guy.
Yeah, like he's not going to do it just to be a second fiddle type of guy. I'm sure.
Well, I don't think that would make him. Come on, that wouldn't make him second fiddle.
It would make him
he would still have the title chairman on the executive board, but the creative mostly comes from Hunter. That doesn't mean Vince can't pick anything, you know? That's how I imagine it. You know?
But even though creative comes from Hunter, I'm sure before Hunter stamps anything, he goes and approaches it.
I'm sure he values Vince's opinion. I don't care what anyone says.
He's gonna go. No. What I'm saying is he's gonna go and get that approval.
Nah, I honestly do think Vince respects Triple H. Triple H respects Vince with all their differences, and they listen to each other. I really think that. I think they're more open to listening to each other than people might think.
Of course,
especially right now.
But let me lay this out for you. For an example, right? Let's say Triple H wants to do something with a couple of talents, and Vince doesn't like what he's gonna do. You think Triple H is gonna just do it anyway, even though Vince don't like it? That's not happening.
I think so.
No way, David. Nope, that's not happening.
I think so. He already has done a couple of,
before.
Not the greatest.
But that's before.
You say before, like Vince wasn't still in his phone during those times, probably. Come on.
Yeah, but I don't think Vince. Yeah, but I don't think Vince is
still in his phone.
But the thing is, I don't think Vince's mind and his focus, I don't think it had anything to do with WWE business at that time. I think it was all about, okay, let's cool this water down, and then let's map out a way for me to come back in a way where it doesn't cause any big issues. I think that's what the focus was for the whole entire time. So he was on some shit like, you know what, you, Stephanie, do whatever y'all gotta do. Hold the fort. Just hold it down. Hold it in a position.
Let's say he does come down and let's say he does what we might expect him to, and let's say he does come back and is in charge of creative. Do you see the rumors being true and a lot of talents will quit and run off if he comes in regardless in any way?
I think so.
Or you think a lot of them are just talking, or it's just BS and
no, I definitely think there's probably gonna be a couple that wanna head out, but most of them are still gonna live out their contracts. I don't think they're gonna try to get out of their contracts.
Okay, yeah. I think that's going to be interesting to see if anybody valuable decides to get bold, and if that's something with that to happen.
It won't be anybody valuable though. You
don't think so? I'm thinking like a Seth Rollins of AJ Styles.
It's never. But if you look at the situations, it's never anybody on that tier. It's always people we really don't care about like that anyway.
Yeah. That's you're not totally wrong on that. But man, there's so many pieces to that. Of course, obviously we've spoken off the record, and obviously our biggest fear is a network, not even just Disney Plus, to be honest with you. My biggest fear is a network owns the rights or gets this sale done and completely eliminates Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard and all these true wrestling guys, Triple H, and phases them out in the background, because that is somewhat what happened with WCW and with Ted Turner. That I think that's my biggest fear with anybody owning this in general. But at the flip side, doing my research so far and, really getting the chance to marinate on this, this sale means a lot, but at the same time, depending on how whichever company handles it, it could also mean very little. What I mean about that is, here's another piece of the pie that I think is a secret layer in this. I also think it's bigger than creative why Vince came back. Call me crazy. I think not only is maybe creative and just him wanting to be involved, period, a factor. I think whoever he sells it to, he's gonna have some caveats in this. So he wants to be able to put his special stipulations in the sale. Like, if I sell this to you, you have to keep on so and so. If I sell this to you, me, Pritchard, and my staff still get to have a certain amount of say. I think more than anything involved, Vince feels like he should be most trusted with the sale, and he wants to find a way to obviously get the most he can for it, but also get it in safe hands. I truly believe Vince does care about that, and to me, I don't know if they're how realistic, but I know there's a chance if The Rock and his team of investors could get the XFL. I totally can see The Rock being in the swing of things, and honestly, he might be the ideal person if he really cares to do it.
But at the same time, too, it's like this, right, Dave? Who else would you trust with all business decisions while they're in this type of transition?
Vince.
Like who else do you know could negotiate something so sweet where everybody could benefit?
When it comes to making money and taking leadership, Vince knows how to do it, no matter how people feel about him.
Ultimate negotiator, the ultimate visionary, and he already has the ultimate pedigree. So it's like, why I don't even understand why people wouldn't want him to be involved in a sale, in a transition like this, bro. He has to be, because it's like, yo, depending on what company he slides with, we could honestly see wrestling maybe get better.
Yeah, honestly.
Well, depending on who it is.
He's gonna have to treat it with care. Whoever he does this type of business.
See what I'm saying? Yeah.
And I believe he's intelligent enough to.
And it's like at the same time too, you make that type of slide, right, David? Now let's be honest here in terms of revenue, in terms of numbers. You see what I mean? Vince McMahon is who you want during these type of seasons as well.
Yeah.
When we're talking about the January, February, April, March type of season.
Yeah.
It's Vince. Vince always makes sure these type of seasons get handled with care, and they get handled the best financially, bro. I always tell you, I was very on edge going into these.
Yo, this dude doesn't trust Triple H an ounce, man.
Like looking at how they were transitioning product wise, I was very on edge. Now with Vince, I'm actually halfway comfortable now.
I have to give you a little pushback. I mean, the product isn't I'm not going to exaggerate and say the product did the biggest 360 in the world, but I do see some of Triple H doing. I see some different things that are effective. Like I love the more number one contenders matches. I love the more multi-man matches. We have been getting some really badass multi-man matches, like 6-pack challenges, gauntlet matches, 4-ways. And I do think it's still a long way to go. The tag team division is slowly, repolishing itself. So I do think those were things that was missing the last run of events that have been getting a lot more of, especially the number one contenders matches and making everything important and fighting for something. But I do agree when it's Royal Rumble season, that's basically WrestleMania season, and when we're there, you want the guy that knows how to put the biggest spectacle possible on. But I don't think we could totally eliminate some of the good that Triple H has done. I think you need to give him some of his flowers.
What you talking about since the new year has begun, or since?
I think for a guy who it hasn't been even a full year yet.
Yeah.
He's shown like I could at least do some things that Vince wasn't. At least he's showing that.
No, he gets credit for that. I agree with that. He definitely gets credit for.
I'm trying different flavors at least.
He definitely gets credit for not having as much PG cheesy segments, and I definitely give him also a lot of credit for not having, what I'll say is those normal traditional ass finishes where you see, let's say, like a tag team match, or like somebody just fighting a one-on-one that they already fought like mad times before.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a big one. He hasn't been doing repeat matches with the same and
a lot of the times they will end the show like that.
Exactly.
And I'll definitely give him credit for those type of things. He definitely did that. But all I'm saying is in terms of the WrestleMania season type of feel, you know, Vince knows how to bring that feel in and bring it in big. Triple H, I'm not sure he had that down pat yet, because that's something that takes a couple tries, bro.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like nobody's just gonna get that. Nobody's just gonna pick that up right off the gate, which is why I said I was on edge. That's the only reason why I was saying that. I'm not saying it as in, you know, Triple H completely didn't know what he was doing. He knows a lot with what he's doing.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But here's another layer to it. Again, there's so many layers to it. I was reading something and damn, I should have did my homework and wrote down the source, but I was reading it from a fair source, that actual, you know, mainstream source, that platforms like ESPN Plus and a few other platforms, Fox, saying if they're gonna buy it, if they're gonna do business, then they would want Stephanie and Triple H to remain at least in some sort of power position. So it seems like some of these people are basically threatening to not do business with Vince if he doesn't at least let Hunter and Steph stay in, because of Vince's name and the controversy. So the controversy is playing a little bit of a part in this.
Okay. You know, but look at it from Vince.
It's tricky. So
it's not tricky, Dave, because look at it from Vince's end. I could easily be like, so what?
What do you mean, so what?
What do you mean? Is Fox and that?
Let's say Fox and ESPN have one of the better offers, and they're like, "Yo,
Vince could get a better offer.
If you don't let Steph and Hunter, if you don't eventually let Steph come back and be chairwoman and keep Hunter creative, I don't care if you stick around, but at least let them around. You might shoot yourself in the foot."
I ain't shooting nothing.
I think those are those not the top two, some of the better options for streaming?
Dave, he could just be like, "Yo, I'll give it to Disney."
He won't do that.
Why won't? Why not? What if Disney? I'm pretty sure Disney will give him the best bang for his buck.
I don't think so. Here's why.
Absolutely.
It's
why. Disney.
Here's why. Be honest. Why would Disney want WWE?
Why wouldn't they?
Yo, I need you to answer. Why would they first?
Dave, it's WWE. You're taking on something that has what 60
years. Of course, I know that the content's basically unlimited. The content,
why wouldn't they want something like that?
I'm asking from the perspective, why would Disney's owner, because Disney technically owns ESPN and
exactly.
Why would they suddenly want WWE's content out of the blue? You know, that's just how I'm looking at it. I'm talking about fit wise. Fit. We're talking about fit.
It's a perfect fit. Look at the product right now.
Nah, it's not the perfect.
It's a perfect fit. You guys been doing cheesy shit for almost 15 years. You guys been doing your content for kids for almost 15 years right now. You're a perfect fit.
Nah, I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, come on, Dave.
I wouldn't go that far.
Since 2008.
I'm talking about from a Disney's. I'm talking about strictly from Disney's perspective. I'm not negating that the product watered itself down.
Yeah, but Dave, you think Disney's not paying attention to that?
What does Disney gain from wrestling? I don't think it's a match.
The kids.
They have that already, Sammy. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but now that you have WWE, you don't think your numbers and everything is gonna go up even more?
Absolutely. All that content, old school content.
It's a win-win for both if you really think about it.
I think
to serve my kids in a different way now, not just the cartoon and Marvel way. I get to serve them in a sports kind of way, and you guys are already serving these guys. So we could just keep winning together based on the kids. Perfect.
let me throw this at you. Let's say Disney gives the best offer. It's not impossible, you know.
Yeah.
It's not impossible. Let's say they do. And Vince makes some stipulations like, yo, I still want to be a part of this. Like, I'm a wrestling mind. I still want my people. And they're like, all right. And they don't make any drastic changes. Technically, that would mean the company's private again.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Vince will use that to his full advantage?
No, I don't think. Bro, to be honest with you, I really don't even think Vince is at a point where he really cares that much, bro. He just wants to get the best bang for his buck.
You don't think he cares about the going private?
I don't really think that's something he's big on like that. I just think he's coming back because he knows he's close to the end. I want the best bang for my buck.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I'm also here to show you guys, yo, I should have never even left to begin with, bro. And you guys ain't just gonna take my crown, my kingdom, and do whatever y'all want with it, bro. I'm gonna do whatever I want with it. I think this is just a statement.
So you think this is a spite move?
It's a statement, yeah. It's a statement.
Guys like Conrad Thompson, who's really plugged in. He said that this seems new to us, but this has been a thing Vince has been working on for a few years. That according to Conrad, and I believe Conrad.
Of course,
I believe
this
has been like a good number of years. It's just now starting to get talked about.
Remember, me and you have also talked about this before. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't something that's old. Me and you always thought that, you know, Disney could be a potential buyer or some other thing could be a potential buyer.
For sure.
Me and you have always thought that, because think about it. What else was he really going to do? Pass it on to who?
And he kind of showed a big willingness. It's not the same thing, but he kind of showed a big willingness to get cash in on their content when he had the original WWE Network on its own and he shipped it to Peacock. He sold it to Peacock. Mm-hmm. So he kind of showed a willingness to sell their content and rights to a degree. So that was somewhat a small preview of him being willing to sell it and cash in on it. But all I'm going to say is, I'll say this to kind of wrap on the sale. We're obviously going to stay tuned. My guess is this company will be sold definitely by SummerSlam, if I had to guess. This is just me guessing, of course.
Oh, yeah?
And I think by July, by June, I feel like that we'll see it. I'm confident we'll see a sale of some kind. But I want to say this. We really need to stop when it comes to a big business move like this. The news story's not gonna break from a dirt sheet like WrestleZone or ProWrestlingDirt.com. It's not gonna break on a dirt sheet. It's gonna break on like a CNBC, a big actual business platform. Mm-hmm. So these people out there that are spreading the rumors that Vince already sold it to Saudi Arabia. I don't know if you caught that, but they were saying he sold it last Tuesday, and they fooled a lot of the marks for believing it. They were trashing Vince, saying, "Oh, he sold it to Saudi Arabia. Oh, they hate women. Oh, they're an oppressive country." But relax, he didn't sell it.
That's a contradiction, Dave. WWE for like the last 5 years has been doing their best to promote women.
Oh, and a good job, yeah.
They've been doing their best to put big spotlights on women and make women the big focal point. So why would they just turn around and do a 360 and give it to the guys who hate women the most?
Bro, last week, all over social media, everyone was running with it because a fake journalist, dirt sheet writer, said that the deal is done. And then the two other ones agreed with him and was like, yeah, it's done. He sold it to Saudi Arabia. A lot of talents are threatening to quit for that.
Really?
I'm like, bro, Vince will not make a business decision that quick and impulsively.
Really? It's not in it.
So I think people need to be careful with the sources they check on social media with a story like this, because it ain't gonna be a dirt sheet at all. It's not.
But I think honestly,
I don't think Vince is gonna sell to them at all. But if we're talking about money, they got money out the ass too.
They do.
It's scary.
They do, but based on their reputation and based on how they live their life, I think they have the smallest chance.
Yeah. It's not good business. It's not good business.
It's just a stupid investment. Like
it is.
It'll it'll be a stupid partnership to do something like that.
And I think Vince knows that, but I think it's stupid that people ran with it so fast. Like, there was no verified real platform that said it. Hell, WWE would probably throw the press release out too, like on themselves when it happens.
I don't think they would do that. They would never do something like that. I don't. No,
that would be bad business.
They'll keep going over there, just to get that big show money.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're ever gonna. And to be honest, I'm surprised that they keep going back as much as they do.
I'm honestly surprised that they did it as much too. They go like twice a year, it feels like now.
You know what I mean? They got these women wearing the all black, everything covered up and everything.
They have to follow that shit. Get out of here, dog.
Let's be
serious. They have to cover that shit up over there.
Let's be serious. Let's be honest here, man. I don't think that would
I can't believe people believed it. I just can't believe it. But
that's not smart. It's just not smart. It wouldn't be smart. Now, if you give it, and that's another thing too, you give it to Disney, Disney's amplifying that tenfold. The women movement, all of that. Like, yeah, I'm telling you, don't sleep on Disney, man. Don't sleep on Disney. Disney might throw them a few $1 billion.
I'm not sleeping on that. I think they're gonna get. I think they're gonna get over $5 billion, no matter who buys this. They're gonna get a good chunk of billions, yo.
That's easy for Disney too.
But
that's easy.
It's gonna be interesting. I think Endeavor. I think Endeavor's where Dana White and UFC's streaming is at. They're saying they're in the running. Tony Khan really is kind of make people think he's in the running. Is that ever possible?
I think he got a worse chance than Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, not for real though. For real. That's crazy to say. Vince would over his dead body, bro.
Why would Vince let the person who thinks he's my competitor? Why would Vince stroke his ego like that?
Yeah, no way.
No way. No way. That would be like Vince letting Ted Turner buy WWE. He'd rather die before doing something like that.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Somebody that owns another wrestling company is not ever gonna purchase WWE.
I also think I'm not sleeping on Disney for all their success and I just question the fit. But I'm not sleeping on their resources. But I think we're sleeping on Netflix for sure too. And I wouldn't hate that if Netflix did that, but we'll see for sure.
Honestly, I think Amazon would probably have a better chance than Netflix.
You think so?
Yeah.
Netflix, I feel like Netflix could use something like the amount of content WWE has. Like they could use something like that badly.
They could though. They really could, because I feel like that's something too, where if they take it, they might use it in a way where they can, you know what I mean, make it kind of like their flagship thing, because they don't really they don't really have like a flagship type of thing.
They really don't.
You know what I mean? They got a bunch of different things that are highly popular. I give them that, but what's that one stick out thing? They're looking for something like that. But like I said, Amazon, that's another company that has crazy amount of revenue and crazy amount of like, you know what I mean, like they're associated with everything, bro, with everything, literally. So I think they would probably have a better chance of cutting the deal if we're just talking on a numbers note.
It's gonna be interesting. I want to shift into the NBA. Of course, you know, Kevin Durant just recently damaged his MCL. But Brooklyn has been, having a lot of momentum overall the past few months. Are you starting to feel like, that we're starting to realize who's going to be the top teams and who's not? Do you think the picture's clear, or is it still a lot wide open? Because this is such a tricky season.
I think it's clear now. I think it's clear. So
who you narrowing it down to? Who you think is clear with?
So obviously, if we're talking like if all parties are healthy, right?
Yeah.
I think I think we're looking at a 2-man race still. I think we're still looking at Boston. We're still looking at Milwaukee if Middleton can get right. But Brooklyn, honestly, as much as they surprised me over like a month, because I didn't think they would go on a run like that. I really didn't.
Pretty good run, but
I didn't think they would. I didn't think they would make it to that top 3, top 4. Look, like I didn't think they would get there. I'm not even gonna lie. But even now that they still are there, I still don't think that they're good enough to deal with those 2 teams at the top, because you still have your third whale basically not knowing what the hell he's really supposed to be doing out here. Like, let's be honest.
That's a great point.
Let's be honest.
Can we even call him the third anymore?
But he's supposed to be. Who else can
I agree. He's supposed to be.
You know what I mean? And not only is he supposed to be, he's supposed to be like the perfect type of third wheel.
Yeah. Like
somebody who can, get you just a little bit of points, like a little more than 10. Somebody who's supposed to get you like 10 type of rebounds and a whole lot of assists. Like that's supposed to be like what he's supposed to be doing. And not only that, he's your defender.
Yes.
So it's supposed to be working like
Green.
It's supposed to be working like a great machine, but it's still not.
Yeah. And the sad part is I don't really think we've even on this hot run, we haven't seen flashes of the old Ben Simmons. We haven't even got glimpses of him being any of those things, a consistent double-digit passer. He should easily be able to give this team 18, 8, and 8. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, nobody should hold their breath. It's not happening. It's just not going to happen.
I don't think we're going to see it.
I know on paper it looks great, but it's not going to happen.
I don't think we see him like that ever again, Dave.
And I know you don't want to believe it, and that's fair. We could agree to disagree, but I truly think because of that, and because I really don't think they have a leader. They have some talent, but they don't have a leader when they're down to rally the troops, when they're down to motivate them. I really don't think they want to mess with the Cavs. The Cavs aren't something you're just going to want to think you could walk in and win with your eyes closed. That's all I'm saying.
No, you can't.
And they can't play with them and think they'll win just off of talent, because that Twin Towers with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, I know Donovan Mitchell's playing like an MVP, and Darius Garland's proven he's an all-star again, and it wasn't a fluke that he was there last year. But Evan Mobley and Jared Allen are the Twin Towers in a league that doesn't have many skilled Twin Towers. And for them to have that, they have that ready for a Giannis, to at least, bother him. They have that length. They have that size. Brooklyn has none of that. Everybody's soft and finesse, including Ben Simmons. So,
yeah.
I don't think it's a foregone conclusion they would beat the Cavs.
Yeah, but here's the only reason why I'm not fully ready to give the Cavs that edge. It really only comes down to experience, and it comes down to proven star power for me. Cavs, as much as I like what they're going, what I'm seeing, what they got going on, it's like when it come playoff times, who's your proven two? You
don't. I know he's not a champion, but
it's not even about champion.
You don't consider Donovan Mitchell a proven guy?
He is, but who's shotgun? Who's the proven guy that's shotgun?
I mean,
they still don't have it.
I mean, considering the fact I can't call him proven by definition, because I think he's only been in the league maybe 3 or 4 years. I don't think he's gotten a chance to perform in the playoffs. But because they have Mobley and Allen and Okoro to focus on defending,
right.
I am confident in Garland to be the great second option scorer. He hasn't proved it by definition because he's young, but I believe in him. He's not the type of player that shrivels under the spotlight so far. But
we don't know, Dave. We don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
we don't know what we're gonna get from Kyrie and Kevin Durant when sometimes either.
Yeah, but Dave, here's the thing: a lot of cases in the playoffs for young guys, you gotta go through it first before you can really master it.
I agree.
You see what I'm saying? And that's the only reason why if I see Cavs in Brooklyn link up, or if I see Cavs in Philly link up, I might have to give the edge to Brooklyn and Philly because at the end of the day you got your top two guys. They've been there, done that.
That's tough. I don't blame you. I don't blame you for saying that, but
and I know
I'm gonna ride with. Although they have the proven star power, I'm going to ride with who's ascending harder. You know, sometimes who's ascending in the upwards direction harder is going to win, and they also have a more complete team. I'm not gonna put star power over having a more complete team.
It's true.
That's fair.
It's true. I definitely like that Cavs team 10
it's
times
just
more.
too complete and deep.
Like. Yeah. I definitely like their team 10 times more than Brooklyn. Like I don't even like the Brooklyn roster like
Philadelphia is a wild card for me. I think they're capable of beating anybody, but I think they're capable of failing and losing to anybody because I'm not going to just leave it all on their shoulders. They got a great team. I love Maxey. I like Harden in this second/third option role, but Harden has a bad playoff record, even as a second, third option. And Doc Rivers has a horrible track record in close games. I think those are two big playoff challenges historically that they're dealing with. Harden and Doc Rivers.
True, but it's
huge.
It's just I've seen at the end of the day, I've seen them go through stuff. Brooklyn, I've seen those guys go through stuff. When it comes to this Cavs team, it's kind of like just blind shooting, man. It's just they're hot and dynamic, but come playoff time, when y'all going through stuff, are you guys gonna bounce back?
It's a fair question.
You know what I mean? Like, when you guys actually see some adversity, are y'all gonna be able to push through? I know Mitchell can.
They got vets.
But what about the rest of y'all?
They got veterans to stabilize the crew, like Kevin Love, like Rubio, like guys like that. I believe that could keep them calm under pressure. I'm not saying they're gonna score 30 points. I'm saying having those veterans helps bring those young guys along mentality wise.
Yeah. That's the thing. I don't know. I just don't know. You know what I mean? Like it's.
What I do know is this: Kevin Durant's great, and he's obviously better. But I know Donovan Mitchell's capable of being the best player in that series. He's capable of that, being the best player on the court. That to me can't be ignored. He is capable of outplaying Kyrie and Kevin Durant for a handful of a 7-game series. That's what makes it a little scary.
He is. No, he definitely is.
And Kevin Durant is a fair amount better, and Mitchell's still capable of that.
No, Mitchell can go toe to toe with anybody in the league. Like I've been saying this since Utah. Like he just has that dog type of fire with him. Like he can just go when it's really time. Like he can go toe to toe with anybody. Like he already showed that in the postseason. You showed that in the regular season. Like with Mitchell, I think he's the perfect touch to this team. I'm not questioning him one bit. Now the rest of y'all, I gotta question you, bro. Because you got a lot of young dudes wet behind the ears on this team. And also you got, you know what I mean? You did say something about the Kevin Love, but let's face it, Kevin Love he hasn't been that type of guy in 6 years? You know what I mean? So it's
a solid role player.
So he's solid, but it's Rubio, same thing. You know what you're gonna get from him. You know, I like his game, but I think Garland's, in order for this team to take the next level, I think Garland's gonna have to go through at least a postseason or two. Mobley, same thing. He's gonna have to go through at least one postseason or two. Just like the Celtics. The Celtics went through a few bad losses before.
Yeah, they paid their dues. They definitely paid their dues.
They had to go through a few before they actually rose up.
Yeah, they paid their dues. That's why it's cool to see them in their prime right now, because they're just now hitting their prime, and they're definitely the best 1-2 punch right now. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. But what about the West?
The West, I think the West is really where
it's wide open.
Yeah, I think the West is really where it's kind of hard to put the finger on it because I'm looking at. I feel like the Warriors at this point is gonna have a lot of ground to make up for, bro.
I know they're having to make up a lot more ground than I expect. I'll
Especially
say that.
if in order for me to believe that they can go all the way this year, they would have to go on like a good ass run right now and get.
Do they need to make a small move? Like a small role player move to boost a little bit?
I don't think they can though.
They could if they wanted to.
Cause who are you giving the boot to? That's the issue.
Moody or Kuminga or Dante DiVincenzo. I like him as a player. DiVincenzo from the
Those
Bucks.
guys don't get you much though, Dave.
They'll get you something maybe a package.
Let's call it like it is. Those guys really ain't getting you much. They ain't getting you much. You would have to trade somebody in order if you really want a good piece back. You would have to trade someone like Wiggins, someone like Poole. But you just paid those guys a boatload of money.
I don't know if you want to give up Wiggins, honestly.
And I wouldn't give up Wiggins.
He's perfect for that system.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Who do you give up?
Wiseman, DiVincenzo, and a pick.
Come on, man. Wiseman got zero value. He's a dude y'all put in the G League.
I don't know. I think there's a role player move out there for him. I think they could pull something off, like getting a Miles Turner to shot block and space the floor.
For who?
That's doable. You don't think that's doable?
No. Who are they accepting? Think about it. The Pacers denied
Kuminga and Moody.
That's not enough, David.
It is enough, dog.
Dave, the Pacers.
Miles Turner's been in trade rumors from the Pacers for a grip. I don't think they have any integrity.
Yeah, but think about it, David. They denied the Lakers trade that had Westbrook involved. Why am I going to accept that?
Because they didn't add the picks. They really want the picks because they're reloading.
But they want a good combination too, Dave. They don't want just picks.
And I think Warriors have more picks than the Lakers.
No, they do. But you still got to give me a good combination with a player or two.
I think those guys got enough upside.
No way, Dave.
You don't think they got upside, dog? To be like one of them could be like an Iguodala level player.
Oh, they haven't showed enough.
You don't think they show glimpses of being like an Iguodala level player?
They have not showed enough. I really don't even see what people are talking about.
This dude. I'm
being serious. I really don't even see what people's talking about.
Kuminga's definitely shown flashes a handful of games. I've seen him here and there, but
Kuminga, I've seen him do something.
Moody hasn't really done much.
He hasn't done much at all. Let's be real.
Yeah, he hasn't.
And even when it comes to Poole, he's had an up and down type of season.
What about Draymond and DiVincenzo and some picks?
Draymond, not that much value no more.
I'll tell you what, if you, I'm not saying it's going to happen.
Might as well let him retire there at this point.
I'll tell you what, Miles Turner in that lineup does make them better in general. I'll say that.
And no, I buy that. That's true. But
I don't think he would be hard to adjust to that system because he could space the floor.
What I'm saying is you would have to give up at least one guy who has good value and is
sleeping on Kuminga.
And I don't think the Warriors are in that type of position.
You think DiVincenzo's a scrub?
Nah, I like DiVincenzo.
He made big plays for the Bucks, yo.
No, I like DiVincenzo. Honestly, I was confused why the Bucks even gave him.
Honestly, I was confused why they let him walk.
but let's be serious here. It's all about the value, bro. It's all you're talking about Miles Turner, who's a starting center in this league. So you would at least have to give up a starting caliber guy.
No, I feel what you're saying.
You got to give up at least one. In Warriors, they don't have the space to do that.
Yeah, you might be right. Maybe a lesser center like a Nerlens Noel or a Jakob Pertl, maybe one of those centers. But I think they could use a move, man. A little move to get someone that's another two-way player. They don't got much two-way players left.
And another thing that I was saying too, Dave, they would have to go on a pretty damn good run right now in order for me to feel comfortable with me picking them for the championship.
I agree.
Because they seem to be flirting and fucking around way too much right now to feel comfortable, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that top three, that top three, like Denver, Memphis, New Orleans, like with those three teams, if they can just stay with good health, I don't know. I think they're scaring anybody.
I agree. I agree.
If they can just stay with good health.
Those three teams are they haven't won anything in the playoffs yet, but this is the year it's so wide open that you don't want to mess with them. You just don't want to mess with them. I honestly think that, especially I think Denver and New Orleans, but the Grizzlies are coming too. Silently, they're really coming.
They made it all the way to second seed again, Dave. Like they're in that mix again.
Yeah.
And again, all they really have to do is find a good way to preserve Ja, and one of the other guys on the team have to keep stepping it up. And if that happens, honestly, like we can look at one of these guys getting